Hey, it's Ed from the Whiskey Tangent Podcast, and we got a whiskey short for you today with a Game of Thrones theme to it. Game of Thrones put out 8 different whiskeys, and we thought it'd be great in honor of the finale to taste one of the whiskeys. And Scott's going to tell you which whiskey we chose.
Yeah, we chose House Stark primarily for 2 reasons. One, they are the main protagonists of the show. And 2, I have a tattoo on the back of my calf of the Stark direwolf. So I really wanted to have the bottle.
Nerd.
It's a collectible bottle that comes in this really cool can, as a lot of scotches do. It is a scotch, by the way. We're not big scotch guys, but we're really excited to try it. And yeah, we're going to try it right now. Whiskey short. And we have our friend Jeff here.
Jeff is here, a very good friend of ours, and he's going to help us taste the whiskey for our show.
Not only is he a whiskey enthusiast, but a Game of Thrones fan. Hey, Jeff. How you doing?
Hello there.
Before we drink it, I will let you know that they put out 8 different Scotch whiskeys from 8 different distilleries. All of them are owned by the Diageo company, which we've spoken about.
One for each of the major houses.
Correct. You want to tell the people which houses there are?
Yeah, they got the Targaryen, Stark, Lannister, Tully, Tyrell, Baratheon, Greyjoy, and the Night's Watch.
And the distilleries for each?
Oh, God, here we go. Cardew, Dalwhinnie, Lagavulin, the Singleton, Clonelish, Royal, Lochnagar, Talisker, and Oban. And I am sure I said all those wrong.
The House Stark whiskey was made by Dalwhinnie.
Yes.
Which is actually very popular in the United States. A lot of their scotches are enjoyed. And so I'm kind of glad that since we're not really big scotch drinkers, that we're going to try one that is of a distillery that a lot of their product makes it over to this side of the ocean.
From reading the reviews, this is not like one of those really peaty or smoky ones.
It is a Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, and it's a 86 proof. And let's see what it tastes like.
Yeah. All right, ready? Try it. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I like
Scotchy.
it. Scotchy.
It's not smoky. There is some peat there at the end of it. Do you get that? The thing that keeps me from embracing Scotch whiskey.
But really mild though. Like,
well,
I mean, we've had scotches before that are like
an Ardbeg or something where it tastes like smoked grass.
Right.
I try. I once again, like I always say with Scotch, I see why people like Scotch. The flavor is so complex. There's so much going on with it, but that peatiness, just this peat finish.
It's so funny because I'm really not getting that finish. I'm really enjoying this.
It's not a terrible flavored whiskey at all. You can tell it's a very high quality distilled spirit, no doubt. Once again, complex flavors. I certainly am not hating it either, but
sweet on the tongue. Very
sweet initially,
yeah.
With the great burst of that's where I get all the flavor right in the beginning, and then it just finishes with a little bit of a Scott's right, but to me it's a little more distinctive peat aftertaste, which
the grassy flavors of.
I'm getting the smell of it, like
the smell of peat,
the taste on the back of the tongue, and the heat in the nose.
It is very fiery for an 86 proof, I will say that.
Oh, we didn't even name what the damn whiskey is called. It's actually called Winter's Frost. So it's House Stark, Dalwhinnie's Winter's Frost.
Winter's Frost, right. If you like single malt Scotch, I think you're going to love this. I would think a Scotch drinker would just find this delicious.
Yeah, like I said from the reviews, I think the entire series, surprisingly to me, has been very well received. And you might think that Scotch drinkers would be like, oh, Game of Thrones comes out, it's a whiskey, that can't possibly be good. But they pretty much embraced it.
I just don't know where it came from. Like, it certainly has aged a bit. The series has been on for what? I get 8 years, right? So maybe they didn't start it right away. So I guess what they're doing is they must be taking some of their stuff and blending it
that they already had
with blending a couple of their single malts together to create a unique batch, right? Is that safe to guess?
Yeah, I would say that that's probably true. So just briefly, the very end of this, like House Stark, Dalwhinnie is made in one of the highest and coldest distilleries in Scotland, and its extreme conditions are responsible for shaping its signature honeyed sweetness and spicy warmth. Naturally, it's best served chilled or over ice. So maybe we should pour it over ice. Maybe that'll improve the flavor for you guys.
Well, we certainly did just drink it neat.
Yeah.
Most Scotch distillers are fans of using a little distilled water to open up the flavor of Scotches. It's pretty common there. And a lot of people, they get in their own way when they drink any type of whiskey, feeling that if they add ice or water to it, they're kind of like wussing out or something. And if you want to put some distilled water in, if you want to use some small cubes or you want to use a big globe cube, do what you're going to do. But do it for how you like to drink it, because there is no real right way to drink it, but there is some wrong ways, just for the record.
Well, if you don't put it in your mouth, like you just pour it in your head, like an airplane.
That would be wasteful. I can't endorse that.
You got a drinking problem, remember?
So, guys, Game of Thrones thoughts. First of all, a couple questions I have. She's the mother of dragons. We're down to one dragon at the time that we're recording this. Was one of them a female? Do we have eggs? Do we have dragons coming? Do we have baby dragons? Because
I just read that fan theory on the internet. Like maybe they dropped some eggs somewhere.
I think that to be the mother of dragons, she can't just have one dragon left. It's now not plural anymore. She's the mother of dragon.
That's true.
That's lame.
Well, maybe that's foreshadowing her fate.
And who's going to I mean, we know that as realistic as the show tends to be, that Cersei's and her evil ass is not going to win at the end.
No, she's going to fucking die.
She's going to die a horrible death. And I think Jaime's going to die probably with her.
Yeah, I mean, they're twins, right? So
right.
That would be...
In episode 4, he listed all the shitty things he did and why he deserves to die. So I pretty much feel like he's telling the audience, I know you got to like me, but it's time for me to die.
Well, who do you think is going to wind up on the Iron Throne?
It's tough. I mean, based on the law of the land, it should be Jon Snow.
Yeah, should be.
Even by Daenerys' own rules, she would agree that Jon is the one with the claim to the throne.
Yes, and that's why she didn't want him to say anything, and then he immediately told his brother and sisters.
I agree with Ed. I think Jon Snow will be the king of the Seven Realms, but in order for that to happen, I think that means that Dany has to die.
She either has to die, she has to give it up willingly, or they get married, which was Tyrion's sort of solution. Like if they got married, they could rule together.
Right, but the thing is, if they're married, what's weird is they're both the bloodline. Like in England right now, we have a queen, been there for 60 plus years, and she is the bloodline, not Prince Philip.
I don't think it's complicated. I think it simplifies it. If they're both the bloodline, then their children are definitely the bloodline. There's like no question about it.
In the history of the series, not in the TV series, but in the books, the Targaryens were all intermarried.
Right. So this is sort of just perpetuating the ancient Targaryen lineage. Right.
Yeah. Right. Scott read the books.
Well, there's actually George R.R. Martin, instead of finishing the main series, actually published a book in December all about the history of the Targaryens. Like this, just finish the damn series already. What are you writing books like 300 years later? Dumb.
Game of Thrones has been such an epic series. And also, while we're on it, HBO's done a great job. I have to give kudos to them because they kind of initiated the whole, cable genre series, if you will, with going back to The Sopranos and Rome, Deadwood, giving us another option. I mean, we all grew up, we're all around the same age in our 50s. 3, 6, 10,
yeah,
a couple UHF channels, that was it, So now to have not just movies on cable, but actually dynamic series, I take my hat off to HBO and their creative teams.
Every episode is so expensive and so well done. I mean, you can quibble with some of the choices that they made at the end of the series, and people certainly are. And I'm just like, just enjoy the series. It's going to end how it ends. And if you hate it, you hate it. But then you never really liked the show because the show was about subverting your expectations.
Right.
And if your expectation was a certain thing and it got subverted, well, sorry, that's Game of Thrones.
Right. And another thing is, you got 2 examples of getting what you want and getting not what you want, all right? Boardwalk Empire, which was a series I liked, they killed the main character at the end. He basically got what he deserved. The Sopranos, they just kind of went with a black screen and let you figure it out, So
I just think it's the way television is critiqued by everyone who has a Twitter account and a Facebook page. Everyone is giving their opinions, and no one is going to be happy 100% with any television show, however it ends. So, I mean, just have a whiskey and have some fun.
Have some fun, America.
And I highly recommend the Dalwhinnie Winter's Frost Dark whiskey.
If you like single malt Scotch, Ed, absolutely recommend you drink it as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Ed.
I'm Scott.
We thank Jeff for coming by for the ride.
Hey.
Good night.